On this week's episode, we'll cover everything that's going on during the week of December 3rd, plus a few other things you want to know.
Here's this week's schedule. Today at 5:30, there will be a middle school basketball game against Bowden. On Tuesday, the middle school will also be having a wrestling meet versus Bremen and Bay Springs at 5. Wednesday the 5th, there will be a wrestling meet at McIntosh High School from 5 to 9. On the 6th, FFA will be going on a field trip to Fort Valley from 8 to 8. At 5, there will be a wrestling meet at Carrollton Junior High, also at 5. There will be a middle school basketball game against Villa Rica. This Friday, the 7th, there will be a series of basketball games at Trinity Christian from 4:30 to 9:30. There will also be a wrestling tournament at Central High School from. Now, here's something from a few of us here at the War Cry about our football team.
Please enjoy.
Hi, I'm Brandon Dixon, a member of the War Cry, and I know a lot of the football members very personally, and I've seen all the work and all the times they've blown me off for football. And I just want to say good luck to y'all, and I love y'all.
Hi, my name is Miranda Harbin. I'm a member of the War Cry, also a member of Heard County Sports Medicine for football. Personally, I see these guys every day at practice. You know, they put in the work. They put in the work in their games, when they're not at practice, when they're not even at school, you know, their diets, their choices, everything like that. They really have put their blood, sweat, and tears into this, and let's just hope that we can pull through with the W.
My name is Elena McQuain. I'm a member of the War Cry, and I'm also a member of the Friday Night Film Crew. I have seen the work that these guys have put in from week to week for the games, and it is really inspiring for all of the little kids to watch, which I have many little kids in my life. But I just want to wish the football team good luck, and I hope they pull through with a win.
Now let's watch Ethan Sorrentino with this week's weather.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Ethan Sorrentino, and welcome to this week's weather. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So Monday, it will be scattered thunderstorms. Tuesday, it'll be scattered thunderstorms. Wednesday and Thursday, it'll be sunny. And Friday, it'll be partly cloudy. So remember, guys, if y'all are driving, wear your seatbelt and be safe.
Next, we have Brandon Dixon and Michael Payton with things that make them angry, and Ethan, again, with random weird facts.
We're very angry this week, and we really hate California, and what else?
Anime.
Okay, why do you hate anime, Michael?
It's one of the most cancerous forms of entertainment to ever exist, and the fans, the weeaboos, are somehow even more cancerous than that.
How?
It's simple. All anime is either one of two things. Childish, degenerate, sometimes both. All the childish anime is mindless, repetitive, it always has the exact same thing happen. Bad problem happened, protagonist fixed bad problem. Every single girl in the anime loves protagonist. Hooray.
And they'll have the exact same haircut.
They do. It's made for the Japanese children, but all the American man children love it for some reason that I simply can't understand.
The 4-year-olds that are 12 at heart.
Mm-hmm.
Neckbeards.
40-year-olds that are 12 at heart.
Neckbeards.
And then there's all the degenerate stuff. Stuff that nobody should have thought of, much less animated and put out to the public, yet exists.
Like what, Michael?
I can't talk about all that in this semi-Christian war cry segment. Do not look it up. You will be heartbroken. Soul crushed, everything. Don't do it.
Eyes will burn.
They will be destroyed, not burned. And if that weren't bad enough, the weeaboos, they encompass a lot of different types of people, and they're all horrible. You got the 500-pound neckbeards who only leave their mommy's basement to get more chicken tendies every 2 weeks.
Give me tendies!
All the socially awkward nerds you see in the back of the classes who only play games and browse anime and Reddit all day long and have no future plans except for more anime. All the hypocritical posers who claim to not like it but are full-blown weeaboos in private. And all the people in the world, all these poor souls who bring it up all the time. In public, on social media, every 5 minutes, everywhere, every minute until the day they die. They'll keep bringing it up.
But senpai.
Stop. No matter where or who you look at, it's very obvious. Anime is cancerous, and so are its followers. Okay? Do not watch anime, or you will have a bad life. Join the Anti-Anime Association today.
California! Everybody thinks it is a sunny dream state where they all want to live. But actually, it's a complete dumpster fire and actually is on fire today, literally. If you haven't watched the news, it's pretty bad. California is ranked literally the worst out of all states for quality of life, whether through pollution and actual associating with or talking to people in California. They're some of the most aggressive and hateful people in the entire world in California. It has one of the highest GDPs of all states. I think it's like one of the fourth or fifth largest economy in the whole world, if it was its own country. But it has some of the worst emissions, and it has a horrible problem with people pooping in the streets. Especially San Francisco, where they literally have to hire I think it's 36-man team of people who clean up human crap every day. That is their job. And at minimum, the lowest of last year for human feces calls in San Francisco was 65 in a day. That's horrible. Why do people poop in the streets? Like, do they just not have basic self-respect, Michael?
No, they don't.
Oh, they're Californians.
Not to mention the fact that 60% of all Starbucks lovers are in California too, which makes it 10 times worse.
We need to take down to California. It is also, the smog is horrible. You can see it, and pretty much if you're actually there in person in any major city, there's this thin, or not even it's pretty thick layer of just smog. And how does that happen with a place that has such high and extreme precautions and all that? How is there so much smog? I don't know. Maybe it's because people don't care. It also is extremely overcrowded. It is a large state, but it has a huge housing problem. Houses are overpriced. A house that you would pay for $300,000 in a basic nice neighborhood here, that's at least $600,000, $700,000 in California. That's garbage. Why are you so expensive? It's not even enjoyable to live there. Everything's overpriced.
The more expensive it is, the better they think they are. So that's why they go there.
And that proves they are the most hostile people in the world.
Terrible people.
Terrible. Human garbage. Also, it's one of the only states where you don't have to vaccinate your kids. That's not mandatory for them to be in public school. Do you want measles to spread again? Do you just not care about people living past the age of 6? What's going on here? It also never rains. And there's a huge fire. I mean, they're really bad at managing fires. Unlike Florida and all these other states that also have similar problems, they understand controlled burns. California just doesn't care. So when it does actually spread, the fire spreads like clinical depression. It just all over the map. Everything's bad. And everyone who dreams and fantasizes California, romanticizes it, they really have this weird California dream that's dead now. It's been dead since the 90s. And it's one of the most violent states and one of the least safe states in general for everybody. And there's a lot of factors behind that. But we don't have enough time. Just know, California is garbage.
And anime is even worse.
I think California's worse than anime.
Maybe a very, very little, but anime is pretty bad.
California's worse, and that's why we're angry this week. And I hate you if you're from California. That's it.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Flower Pot here with this week's weird facts about the human body. I know, weird, right? A flower talking about the human body. Anyways, first weird fact of this week is that your brain is actively doing more at night than it is during the day. So while you're sleeping, your brain works harder than when it does while you're actually moving around and doing stuff. The thing is though, I could use that especially when I'm doing a test or something. I'd love for my brain to really work, whenever I'm doing something. But no, my brain's just up there being a big old brain. I mean, come on, I could really use that extra power. Anyways, the second weird fact of this week is that your brain is actually 80% water. That's right. You think that your brain is huge in your head and everything like that, yes, it might possibly be, but it's made of 80% water. So whenever you say you have a big brain, your head is literally just full of water. And don't ever let anyone say your head is full of air, because it's not. It's full of water. That's all I have to say about that. Now, this third fact is quite possibly my favorite, because I am right-handed. But did you know that right-handed people, on average, live 9 years longer than left-handed people? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you write with your right hand, you will, on average, live longer than your left-handed friend over there. So whenever you see him start to fade away, remember, set your clock. Or don't, live your life to the fullest. But that's just on average. I'm not saying you might actually live 9 years longer when your friend does eventually, decease. But we're not talking about that. Anyways, my name is Flower Pot, and I quite possibly will see y'all again next week.
That's all for this week's edition of The War Cry. Stay tuned for next week's episode. And remember,
It's a great day to make a play.